Hey guys, it's time to talk about companions, something that I know a lot of people were concerned about. So we're just going to jump right into it. So first things first, bonding runestones are pretty much a requirement. Well, they're the only runestone that go in this slot now. There's an exchange for Eldritch runestones that you'll be able to exchange them for bonding runestones of the same rank. And you can only put companion equipment on your companions now. And then, on the companion equipment, you can only put runestones. So you can't have any normal enchantments and you can't have any normal gear. So like, rip all the beaded assault rings that you put on your companion and all the savage enchantments and the silvery enchantments and, you know, you can't do that anymore. The whole companion system was completely reworked. There are still 5 active bonuses, but they are categorized into offensive, which are the the gold ones, utility, which are the green ones, and then blue is the defensive. And then this is the companion enhancement, which is the 6th one that you can choose. It's basically a little buff or debuff power that your companion has whenever it's close to you. But I'll cover that more in depth in a second. Each class has a different distribution of offensive, defensive, and utility companion effect slots. And a lot of these are stat bonuses. You can see like armor penetration, crit resist, deflection, a little bit of crit severity, and these bonuses do still scale depending on the rank of your companion. However, currently they are all item level 100 regardless of what rank your companion actually is. I don't know if this will change. To me that's something that might probably change because before you didn't get 100 item level unless they were legendary. Another new thing is companion bolster. You can see here I have a total mythical bolster of 27%. And how this works is each companion has a bolster rating for a specific type depending on what type of companion they are. They could be fighter, creature, invoker, mystical, or a beast. And each of these adds to the bolster, which is the sum of the 5 highest percentages in that category. So a mythical one is, a legendary one is 7%. So that means, since it's the sum of the top 5, that you can have a maximum of a 35% bolster, assuming you had 5 legendary companions in this category. And now you're going to ask me, well, what does this bolster thing do? Well, if you hover over this, it says the total bolster value affects the attack and power of your summoned companion, if it is of the same type. So, if we want to summon a mystical companion, it will get 27% bonus power and damage. Another thing about companion equipment is that the companion equipment slots are now universal. This means that you can put a ring, a belt, a grimoire, basically whatever you have in any slot. They're not locked down to a specific like ring type or neck type slot. And bonding runestones work the same way that Eldritch runestones used to. They have a 100% uptime as long as your companion is summoned. So that means that they work with augment companions as well as combat companions. Now, something really important here, and something really awesome in my opinion, is that these bonuses, the gear, and the bondings are completely independent of the companion that you have summoned. The only thing that matters from what you have summoned is your bolster rating if you're using a combat companion. So that means that I can use whatever gear and runestones I want, and I can summon an augment companion to get even more stats if I wanted, and that's what I'm doing right now, as you can see. Companions are a lot more powerful than they were in Mod 15. They can do pretty decent damage at the moment, and a lot of people are saying that their companion is actually out DPSing them. And they're also awfully tanky as well. See, my augment has 447k HP, but augments do not share HP anymore, but they do add their base stats. And as you can see, I don't really have very many base stats because I don't really have anything on my companion, since bonding runestones do not have a base power or defense bonus anymore. So now that I've gone over all of the general companion changes, I do want to mention some of the specific companion bonuses, because almost every single companion had its bonus changed. So I'm going to be switching through characters here to give a demonstration of all of the different equip powers that exist now. And this is something that I think people are going to be pretty upset about. First of all, we're going to take a look at the purple category, which is the enhancement. Like I said before, these are all a possible buff or debuff whenever your companion is near you and you take damage. So for the one I have equipped right now, I have a chance on hit to increase my power by 2,000 and my companion's damage by 4% when my companion's near. All of these are pretty much the same in terms of wording, they just affect different stats or different enemy stats. So here's one for a chance on hit to reduce an enemy's critical avoidance by 2,000 for 15 seconds, or reduce an enemy's awareness, or increase your deflection. There's pretty much one for every single stat. Now, the offensive ones are where you will find companions that you used for DPS characters. The majority of them will be in here. So we have the Siege Master, which is I have equipped right now. Increases the power of your at-will powers by, that's supposed to say 4%, at least it said 4% the last time I looked, and it's doubled on the Stronghold map. So basically, 4% bonus at-will power, so I'll take it. I like that one compared to all the other options here. Now in Air Archon, I'm going to go over Air Archon because a lot of people use this, a lot of people buy these, and they are expensive. So now the Air Archon gives you bonus 2,000 power for 10 seconds after you use it daily against a target not at full health. And each additional active Archon increases its bonus up to 1,000. So, personally, I don't think this is very useful anymore, but if you stacked it with all of the other Archons, which increase your other stats, you can see the Earth Archon is kind of broken at the moment. I personally would choose something that's a flat stat bonus because that's a constant bonus compared to something that only happens whenever you use it daily, and dailies aren't cast as often anymore. Taking a look at defensive ones, the one that I really like is Rust Monster. Obviously I don't have very many to choose from on this character, but there's a 10% chance on encounter use to reduce your target's armor penetration by 3,000, and this can stack up to 3 times. So that one is just a little debuff like the same way it is on live, just a different debuff. Now, utility powers are things like hit points, healing, drop rate of stuff, and some other base stats ones. And some of these fall into multiple categories. As you can see, the baby gorilla here is a utility or an offense power that you can choose from. The one that I like the most is 32,000 maximum hit points, because hit points are really important, especially as a tank. I want to find every source of hit points that I can and use it. The Adolescent Deep Crow that a lot of clerics and paladins were using to increase their base power now gives 8,000 power. So in my opinion, that's still something really useful. And keep in mind that this is at legendary rating, and that Air Archon that I showed you was at legendary rating, and so these ratings are a little bit different depending on the rank of your companion. Companions like the Ice Sprite that increased action point gain now increase critical resistance and or accuracy. Accuracy is a stat that you're going to want to cap, so finding sources of accuracy on gear and stuff, especially on as you're leveling, is a little difficult. A lot of these bonuses are just plain stat bonuses, but there are a lot less passive effects in Mod 16, like there's no passive healing from boons and stuff that you used to have before. Like, if you get hit, you have a chance to heal for like 20,000 HP or whatever. There's none of those. There's no, like, very few passive buffs and stuff like that. The Chilton Tiger increases your run speed by 20% and your power by 6,000 for 10 seconds whenever you enter combat. The Fire Archon gives a 5% chance on at-will use to increase your combat advantage by 2,000 for 10 seconds as long as the enemy is below 50% health. An interesting one that I just found is the Repentant Cultist, and whenever you attack a target with more than 50% health, your daily powers do 4% additional damage. And dragons are supposed to take more additional damage as well, but it's not displaying properly. One thing a lot of people were mentioning was the Owlbear Cub, and its bonus is if you don't crit, you have a 10% chance to do an additional hit for damage equal to 40% of your power. So it's not the same as before. The Stalwart Golden Lion actually has a pretty interesting bonus. You have a 50% chance on companion power use to apply a stack of Celestial Lion presents to you, and that gives you 8% additional damage as radiant damage for 10 seconds. Now this doesn't appear to have any sort of cooldown, at least one that's not listed, so in my opinion that's something that's pretty decent. One other thing that I forgot to mention is that there are no more active companion slots. That was replaced by these powers here, and you can have as many companions as you want. There's infinite slots in these categories, so you don't have to worry about having enough companion storage slots. Well, I think that's about it for companions changes, honestly. If you have any questions about them, please feel free to ask in the comments, or if you want to know what a specific companion's bonus is, I can let you know that as well. Thank you guys for watching, and once again, make sure to check the schedule in the community tab of my channel for information on when I'm releasing all my Mod 16 videos. You guys are awesome, please keep being awesome, and I'll see you later. Bye.